Hello guys, welcome to our discussion for the SOCSCI5S, the Applied Social Sciences. So I'll share the screen to you our next lesson for the Chapter 2, Lesson 3, the clientele and the audiences in the counseling process. So in counseling, you will meet different types of client have different concerns. Thus, the counselor must be flexible in executing the professional techniques. So the counseling does not only focus on one-on-one sessions. In fact, there are also cases wherein the counselor interacts with three or more groups of individuals at the same time for their consultation. Just like for example, diba, in the school, so there is a group of students, di ba, who break the rules inside the school. So there is a group consultation with the students and then the guidance counselor. So with that, so malalaman if sino talaga ang may tawag dito, source uh, sa mga problema na nakaisip sa ganun, or it could be an individual na uh, counseling. For example, one-on-one interview sa una is sa advisor nyo with the student, and then if hindi na siya kayanan ng mga advisor is pwede niya i-refer ito sa guidance counselor kasi minsan is nahihiya yung estudyante na mag-share ng problema niya. So minsan is nag-share niya sa mga di niya lang kakilala or yung mga professionals talaga. So we have here the types of clientele in the counseling. So number 1 is the individual counseling. So this type of client is very common in the counseling sessions that is accomplished by one-on-one discussion with the counseling professional. So ito yung from the word individual, so isa lang. So it is between the individual person together with the guidance counselor. Like for example, this student, so may nagawa siyang problema inside the classroom or inside the campus. So with that counseling process, so malalaman ng isang guidance counselor na ganun yung problema niya kasi may problema siya sa family problem, sa love life problem, or sa school niya. So yun siya, kaya nagawa niya yun yung problema niya ngayon. So the most basic goal of the session is to improve the quality of the counseee's life. So yun nga, yung counselee is mag-share siya ng problema niya sa counselor if ano bang dapat niyang gawin para at least mawala yung mga problema na iniisip niya. So the needs for this counseling may be related with substance abuse or addiction, so mental health, also the stress, which can also lead to depression or anxiety, marital problems, family conflict, relationship difficulties, and academic problems, education, and other struggles that an individual may encounter in everyday life. So with that, a counseling process, individual one-on-one discussion with the counselors, at least malesen or may makita din siyang sagot sa mga problemang pinagdadaanan niya. Okay, the first step is ito siya, building rapport so that they will be at ease in sharing their personal dilemma. So, muna is getting to know each other, di ba, with the counselor and the student. So, pakilala muna, ano yung pangalan, age, yung edad niya, yung type of family na meron siya. Before directly talaga na si-share niya yung problema na pinagdadaanan niya. So the more comfortable yung client or yung estudyante sa counseling professional or sa counselor, so the more they will disclose to them. So with that, so dahan-dahan na mag-share ng mga problema niya, yung client or yung estudyante. And then later on, so sa journey or sa process or the counseling process, so malalaman na din yun siya, ano talaga yung pinagdadaanan niya. Since it is done one-on-one, so this type of client can be assured that everything he or she disclose will be confidential. So confidentiality talaga or privacy lang between the counselor at saka yung estudyante. Like for example, ngayon is nasa klase ako sa consultation room. So if I am the counselor and then may estudyante dyan na kakausapin ko, so walang lalabas dito sa four corner na room yung mga detalye or mga information na shinare sa akin yung estudyante or client because isa din yan siya sa code of ethics na dapat sundin ng isang counselor. The next groups, counseling is from the word group. So composed of two or more individuals experiencing a similar issue or concern that come together to seek a professional help. Like for example, this group of students, so may nagawa silang mga problema. So isa-isa silang tatanungin ng isang counselor if sino talaga ang may pakana na mga problema sa inside the classroom or inside the campus. Then according to Samuel T. Gladding, 1994, so the ideal size is 8 to 12 to allow the members to have an equal opportunity to express themselves. So with that numbers, 8 to 12, so malalaman talaga isa-isa if sino talaga or ano talaga yung mga pinag-iisipan nilang mga problema sa kanilang classroom. So it is common to suffer from bereavement, mga addiction, drug or internet addiction, disabilities, health concerns, and other struggles that may be shared in some individuals. So yun yung about sa mga group counseling. Next, community counseling. Individual and even group clientels usually travel when visiting to a counseling professional. So ito yung isang komunidad talaga or isang barangay na may pinagdadaanan din sa kanilang location. So minsan is silang lahat is pupunta sa isang counselor para naman at least may makukuha silang mga leksyon or mga aral sa kanilang pinagdadaanan ng mga problema. So for the settings, process, and methods of tools in the counseling. So for the setting is we have here the government. So yung una talaga na ito siya, 'di ba? Gobyerno is they're also focusing on the mental health during this pandemic, right? Because of this COVID-19 pandemic, and also of um, the social media that we are facing among to all of the youth, di ba, or the teenager, isa talaga ang gobyerno na tumutulong na masugpo yung mga anxiety and depression ng mga tao. That is why they are having their hotlines or mga live conversation with the counselor, like for example, saying their client on screen. So makikita nila or masishare nila yung mga problema niya if wala silang mga mashare na mga friends or family kasi minsan nahihiya sila. So they seek for a professional help. So isa dito ang gobyerno na tumutulong sa atin para at least maibsan natin yung mga problema na fini-face natin. So government official that would help the mentality and the staff or the social worker. So yun siya. Also, we have here the private sectors, di ba, na tumutulong din sa pagsugpo sa mga counseling process or mental health. May iba nga din mga private sector na mga artista, di ba, na ang advocate nila. Like, for example, sa Miss Universe Philippines, they are private, di ba, hindi sila according sa government i-align sa government. So yung may mga beauty queen na yung advocacy nila is about mental health. Like for example, si Miss Kylie Versosa, Mr. International 2016. Maski siya mismo is naka-experience siya ng mga anxiety and depression nung una. Kaya siya mismo ang isa sa mga advocates about this mental health kasi gusto niya din tumulong sa ibang mga tao na dapat labanan natin itong mental health. And also, it could also be some civil society, di ba? Civil society includes your family or some private spheres that referred to as the third sector of the society that is distinct from government and the businesses. So below examples of civil society, so there is a youth group. So for example, sa inyong community, a DYA, di ba? Association Youth Apostolate. So if may friends kayo na mga DYA, so mga kapwa kayo youth, so at least mag-share kayo ng mga problema, yun talaga yung mga close friends ninyo, di doon sa mga fake friends or plastic friends, baka ipagkalat niya naman sa iba. So at least one or two friends lang. So okay na yan siya. At least sure kayo or may trust kayo sa kanila. Or it could be mga social enterprises, mga non-governmental organization or a non-profit organization. So sa academia, sa schools and campuses, or any voluntary associations or groups with special needs like the elderly, person with disability, teenage mothers, and etc. And then also, the school is very great help in this counseling process because in every school, di ba, meron tayong guidance counselor na tutulong din sa atin daily in our problems that we are facing, or it could be sa community ninyo. So if may trusted friend kayo sa inyong komunidad, sa inyong barangay, na pwede din tumulong sa inyo, so you could go also on there. And then for the services, so ito siya is screening, the process by which the client is determined that is appropriate and eligible for the admission to our particular program. So a variety of factors should be considered before a counselor decides whether or not to admit the potential client to the treatment. So in-screen talaga siya. Yung una, yung mga guidance counselor, so pinag-aralan nila yan ng 4 years, di ba? Yung course pwede nila kunin is mga BS Psychology or BS in Guidance and Counseling. So with that, ay in-screen talaga sila before sila tumulong sa ibang mga tao. Then intake, the administrative in the initial assessment procedures for the admission to a program. So may tinitake kayo ng mga examination or admission between the counselor and client if, like for example, drawing or sketching, di ba? Sa mga paligid-paligid, if doon mababasa siya ng mga counselor if ano talaga yung problema na pinagdadaanan ng isang tao. Next, orientation. So there should be an orientation between the client and the counselor, di ba? So there should be good orientation or communication para naman hindi siya matatakot mag-share ng kanyang mga problema na kinakaharap ang isang tao. The next, the assessment. So ito na yun siya. In-evaluate yung strength and weaknesses or problems and needs ng isang tao. Pwede niya din ito sabi sa kanyang pamilya na ganito si ganyan, na at least there should be an acceptance na kung ganyan yung problema niya is dapat dawaton gyapon siya, sing ana. And then there are some na if di talaga siya makaya na supuin is there could be a treatment planning or rehabilitation. Like for example, di ba sa mga drug addict na kailangan talaga sila, there is a rehabilitation area or room na in 1 month is ganyan na sila, wala silang gagawin para at least mawala yung pag-iisip nila sa drugs or could be sa mga internet addiction. So tanggalin lahat ng mga gadgets na meron ng isang bata. So yun siya. There should be a treatment plan. So may iba na may tinitake sila na medication or medicine or gamot para at least ma-stop talaga siya or ma-prevent yung mga problema na kinakaharap nila. And then yung counseling. So ito siya. Ito yung basic form sa pagpo-process na at least there is a one-on-one na discussion or verbal communication. So mag-uusap yung counselor at saka yung client niya. And then also the case management, there could be bring the services, the resources of the people that is a planned framework. So may iba din siyang kaso na dapat siyang sundin na ganito yung unang process and then the second step, then third, and then fourth. At para naman tuloy-tuloy na talaga siya yung paggagawa ng kanilang mga client counseling processes. And then also another intervention if kamusta na yung pinaggagawa ng isang client, if nasusunod ba siya sa pinagsasabi ng kanyang counselor, so yan siya. Or it could be a client education, and then a referral from a client to another counselor, so yun siya. And also a reporting and recording of the patient or the client treatment plan. And then lastly, consultation with also other professionals. Like for example, guidance counselor. If malala na talaga is yung doctor na talaga yung psychiatrist that studies the mind and the behavior of the human. Paano siya uh, supuin talaga or isolve yung mga problema ng isang tao. Okay, that's a wrap for our clientele and the counseling process. So I hope you learned something for this discussion. So thank you guys and have a good day. Bye-bye. And